Hi, and welcome to the Introduction to Israeli Taxation for Olim Chadashim, Part 4. For those of you who haven't remembered me yet, I don't know how you have done it. My name is Elena Nemets. I'm an Israeli CPA, and I am today with you to help you navigate the Israeli tax system. And today's lecture is one of the most important lectures ever in this series, because it will help you to understand how much money will you get if your employer offers you like X gross salary. So first of all, we will discuss the second largest payment to the state, which is made from your salary, which is national insurance and health insurance contributions. In Israel, in Hebrew, they are called Bituach Leumi and Mas Briut. So what are they in essence? The National Insurance Institute payments are going to the state, the National Insurance Institute, and they are used for covering social pensions, disability pensions, maternity leave, payments to disabled people, so all kinds of social benefits that the state grants. They are funded from this tax contributions, call it yourselves. So every Israeli resident after age 18 should pay national insurance contributions, Bituach Leumi. For employees, they are withheld by employer, you will not pay them yourselves. If you are self-employed, if you are a freelancer, or if you're an individual entrepreneur, you will pay it yourselves. There are minimum contributions for unemployed. If you're an unemployed person, you will pay, I think, 175 shekel per month. You will get kind of a checkbook, and you will make payments monthly. There are exceptions for it. The new immigrants are not paying Bituach Leumi in the first 12 months after their Aliyah if they don't have income from work. So if you don't work, you don't pay this minimum contributions for unemployed if you are a new immigrant in the first 12 months, and afterwards you start paying them. There is another exception if you are a housewife and your husband is working and paying Bituach Leumi, or he is an individual entrepreneur and he's paying Bituach Leumi, or he's an unemployed and paying Bituach Leumi, you don't have to pay. And I say housewife, and there is no similar rule for the husband who doesn't work. I know this is not very modern, but that's how the Israeli law stated. It's only for women. So there are rates and calculators on the website of Bituach Leumi. There are also brackets for this. The rates differ for self-employed and for employed people. They are also progressive. There are also only two brackets. But think about approximately 7% withheld from your salary and 7.6% paid on top of it by your employer. The numbers I told you, it's Bituach Leumi and Mas Briut together. Mas Briut is the way for the government to fund the healthcare system. Basically, the famous Israeli healthcare system is funded by these contributions. There are also payments to Kupat Cholim, well, the healthcare organizations which you signed to, it's like Maccabi, Meuchedet, Clalit. These are different things. So you pay the contributions as a tax, as basically an obligatory payment. And in addition, when you sign up to the healthcare organization, Kupat Cholim, you're paying also some small contribution every month. Let's go to the gross to net salary logic. This is very simplified. I don't want you to get into all ins and outs of it. I just want you to understand the principle, because it may differ significantly from what you are used to in your country. So your job offer or your contract will state this amount, which is your gross salary. From this amount, your employer will withhold income tax. And this will be calculated based on brackets, credit points, which we've already discussed. Then your employer will withhold national insurance and health contributions up to 7%, as we discussed. And it will also pay employers part of the national insurance and health contributions. This is not on the gross income, this is on top of it. So for the employer, your cost of employment is all of this. Also, starting from 2008-9, every employer in Israel is obliged to make pension contributions for its employees, starting from after 6 months of employment or immediately if the employee had the pension plan at his previous employer. So pension contributions are 6% from your salary, and in addition, the employer pays 6.5% of pension contribution and 6% of severance fund, which is called pitsuim. This is a fund when you change employment or you are fired, you will be eligible to get this money. I will not get into depths of it. You should know that employers may pay higher percentage, also like voluntarily. You should require your employer to pay it. You should check that the pension contributions are in your contract at least after 6 months. The pensions are not going to the one big bucket. It's your personal pension account. It's your personal investment. You're choosing the company, the insurance company, which will manage these investments. You may switch from one company to another. You will work with insurance agent to choose the plan that is good for you and profitability, which is good for you. They are all heavily regulated and they are quite conservative investments. And the next thing is something very unique for Israel. It's called Keren Shtalmut, or education fund. It came from education, universities, employees who were entitled to some kind of a fund to improve their qualification. So employee pays up to 2.5% of his salary to this fund, and the employer pays, usually it's 5 to 7.5%, up to 7.5%. So up to 10% of your salary may go to Ishtalmut. This is not obligatory in comparison to pension, but this is very popular. You have an access to this money. It's your personal money. It's your personal investment. You can choose the managing company. And also it opens every 6 years. So after 6 years, you can use this money without tax. Usually people use this money, sometimes they use it to travel, sometimes they use it to repay a part of the mortgage or do some big repair works in their house, because it's quite a sizable amount. So all the rest is the money you will get on your bank account in the end of the month. So let's see, your gross salary is basically, with your gross salary of this amount, you will get the net salary of this amount. You will get this as your personal savings, as your personal investments. It's like a forced investment program for every Israeli. And I think it's a really good thing, because we all think we will save, we will invest, and like we are very easy to spend all our money actually. So in Israel, the government tries to protect you and to kind of force you to invest in at a very beneficial tax conditions as well. And this money, income tax and national insurance and health tax contributions, will go to the state budget or to the national insurance budget. So this is paid and gone for good. So let's see the numerical example. It's a complicated structure because you may have extra payments, you may have some benefits in kinds from your employers, and this is a very simplified picture, but it gives you a good concept of how the gross to net salary works in Israel. And let's see an example. Again, a very simplified example. I used an online calculator. This is Hilan. I put a single male, which means he doesn't receive the extra half a credit point for woman, with no kids, with no extra credit points, receiving 20K of 20,000 gross monthly salary. So what we see, these are the amounts of various payments to pension fund, to the pitsuim. Pitsuim, it's severance payments, to the ishtalmut, to education fund. This will be his investments. It's his money. It's just restricted and used. You can't use them immediately. This will be the taxes, national insurance and health contributions, and this will be the net amount he receives. So with 20,000 of gross monthly salary, he will get approximately 13.2 of net money, like live money in the end of the month, and approximately 6.2 will be his savings. If you are a woman, if you are a new immigrant, if you have kids, this amount will be bigger. Why? Because of the credit points, and you know this. For example, 3.5 credit point for Oleh Hadash will save you approximately 760 per month shekels. Okay, this is a very popular allowance, mainly for the management positions and for if you are working high tech. A lot of companies provide you with a leasing car, and you may choose whether you take a car or you take a compensation instead. So how does it work? If you take a car, you got your car with fuel allowance, usually can use up to X kilometers per year. You have insurance, you have annual test covered, you have everything covered. It's very, very comfortable and you are fully taken care of. But you will pay extra tax on the value of the leasing. The value of the leasing is approximately 3,000 shekels per month in today's market. So you will pay approximately 1,000 shekels per month as a tax for using the car. Or you decide not to take the car and you may get a compensation, which will also be taxable, definitely. It's like additional salary. So that's very high level, very conceptual overview of gross to net calculation and how your salary in Israel will work. See you on the last session.